Lego Harry Potter is absolutely action-packed this year when it comes to retiring sets. We have a whole host of incredible Lego Harry Potter sets, ranging from low price to high price sets. And this is a theme that I'm a big fan of because I am a bit of a Potterhead. I did grow up reading the books, but also I think this theme, it does a really good job of depicting the stories, the characters, the scenery from the books and the movies. It is one of the Lego themes that I think does a great job of representing the license that it is partnered with. And it ranges from highly playable sets to recently some really displayable shelf kind of sets like the new Gringotts set or the new Hogwarts and Grounds set. Then you have the Hedwig and Fox. So they do kind of release sets that are catered more to adults and more for putting on the shelf in your office, but also other sets that are highly playable, that have, packed with minifigures and work really well together. So that if you get one of the Hogwarts sets, you're going to want to get one of the others as well and kind of put them all together in your collection. So they've done a lot of things really, really good with this theme overall, and in general I do like this theme. But what are we losing this year? What sets are leaving the shelves? Let's jump in and look at some of these sets. So first up we have 4 Privet Drive, and this is a bit unique because it is not based in Hogwarts. Of course, this is the house that Harry Potter grew up in. This is set number 75968 with 797 pieces. It's got 6 minifigures in this, so it's pretty action packed when it comes to the minifigs, and you're not going to find some of these minifigs in other sets as well. You have the Dursleys here, that's Harry Potter's family, with Vernon, Petunia and Dudley. You also get Ron and Harry and Dobby. So this is a 10 cents price per piece and an $80 MSRP on this. Now you can often find this a lot lower than that. You can get this at 20% off pretty commonly on Amazon. It was released in June 2020. By the time it retires in December 2023, it's going to have a shelf life of 3.5 years, which is pretty long, but that shows the demand that this set has had throughout its life, that they've kept it around for this long. So that is number 4 Privet Drive, and that is the first one of these Harry Potter sets that we are going to lose this year. Next up we have Hedwig. So this is a very, very popular set, and again, this is one of those really highly visual sets that I think just looks great on a shelf. You can build this in different kind of ways. You can have the wings up or down, and it does come with a minifigure of Harry Potter as well. It has 630 pieces in the box on this one. 75979 is the set number, with a price per piece of 6 cents. I really feel like this set is very reasonably priced. It's a $40 MSRP. In my mind, it looks like a $60 set easily, and at $40 I think you're getting a lot of value with this. The build is great. I love the contrast between the brown stand and the white owl, and I think the detail is really good on this for a $40 set. Also, this set was exclusive in the United States for Barnes & Noble, so you can't really get this readily in Targets or in Walmarts or on Amazon. You do need to go to Barnes & Noble or the Lego store, or of course you can go get it on third-party marketplaces. Now, it was released in June 2020, so once again, this is 3.5 years of shelf life. It has been around for quite some time, and in actuality, this had a kind of a pair set with the Fox the Phoenix set that was kind of going alongside this one. That one retired sooner than this, even though it was released after it. So Hedwig has definitely had a long life, but again, we have high demand on it. It has done quite well, but overall, I'm a big fan of this one. Next up, we have Hogwarts Polyjuice Potion Mistake 76386 with 217 pieces, of course, depicting a pretty important scene from the second book and movie. And we do also get a golden minifigure in this one. So a couple of years ago, we had the Lego Harry Potter 20th anniversary, and to celebrate that, the Lego group released a handful of collectible golden minifigures in different Harry Potter Lego sets. Now, some of those have already retired. So for example, I have one right here next to me, and this is Hogwarts First Flying Lesson, and right here you have the golden Professor Quirrell in this box. But if you wanted to collect all of the golden minifigures, you would have had to have bought a handful of different Lego Harry Potter sets, and this one right here has the golden Harry Potter. So of all the minifigs that people are going to want to get in golden form, I think Harry Potter is going to be one of the ones that is sought after. But this is a 217 piece set with 4 minifigures if you count that golden one. Then the other 3, of course, is the trio that you would come to expect, that is Ron, Hermione and Harry. You have a price per piece of 9 cents on this one with a $20 MSRP. In my mind, it's not bad. It's $20, and the build that you get in here is nothing spectacular, but for $20 and with those 4 minifigures, it's not so bad, right? So this set released in June 2021, so by the time it retires at the end of December 2023, that's going to have a 2.5 year shelf life. That is Polyjuice Potion Mistake, and again, if you wanted to collect the golden minifigures, you're going to need to grab this one before it disappears. Next up, we have the Hogwarts Hospital Wing. This is set number 76398 with 510 pieces. Once again, here we have an important scene from the movies and books. It is a place where Harry often ends up in the stories, and again, this is where some knowledge of the license that a set is based on can help you to know the importance importance of the scene or of the minifigures to the rest of the collection. So for Lego collectors and investors, if you focus on themes that firstly have, good supply and demand numbers, but also are based on things that you understand or you are willing to go and learn about, that will really help you to know, some of the importance of some of these sets. So we have 4 minifigures in this one, and we do have Madame Pomfrey here, which is the nurse who, kind of tends to the students whenever they're injured. And again, whenever we have these minifigures that are not going to appear more often in other sets, they become unique, they become scarce, and then collectors are going to need to go and find this set to try and get some of those minifigures. There's a price per piece of 10 cents, MSRP of $50 on this one. This set released in March 2022, so it's pretty recent on this one. When it retires in December 2023, the shelf life on this will be just about a year and 3/4. So that is Hogwarts Hospital Wing. It's going to work well with some of the other Hogwarts sets that have been released for the last couple of years and that collectors are adamantly trying to get to build out their entire Hogwarts story. Next up here we have the Hogwarts Magical Trunk. This is set number 76399 with 603 pieces, and again, this is one of those displayable sets that you could put on a shelf. It also kind of can open up into a scene, so it does have some playability as well. It has 1 minifigure, a price per piece of 11 cents. The MSRP is $65 for what you get in here. It's not terrible, borderline a little bit expensive, but it's not terrible. Released March 2022 and retiring in December 2023, so that will be a shelf life of just around a year and 3/4. Hogwarts Magical Trunk is on the way out. Now next up we have a Brickhead set. This is one of those crossovers between a Harry Potter theme and the Brickheads theme. This is Professors of Hogwarts with 4 Brickheads characters in here. It is set number 40560. It has 601 pieces. Now Brickhead sets of course don't have minifigures, so 0 minifigures in the box, but it does have a price per piece of 7 cents. Very reasonably priced when it comes to that price point and the number of pieces. It's a $40 price. Now for Brickheads collectors, they are used to buying sets at a lower price than $40, but when you get 4 characters in a single box, you can see the value here of stretching to that $40 price point. In my mind as a Lego investor, a $40 price point is great because it does give a lot of runway. I can easily see a world where a $40 set would sell for $100 and then you are making 100% return on your investment after you pay your fees. So that is 40560. It was released in June 2022. Now Brickhead sets tend to have a shorter shelf life than other themes on average. Some of them stick around for a long time, like the Star Wars Mandalorian and Child, but others, they have less than a year, and most of them actually have less than a year on the shelves. So this one is going to have a year and a half approximately when it retires, which is a little bit above the average of the theme, but in my mind that is just a kind of a display of the demand on this set, and I'm a fan of this one. I think that this one could have some runway to increase in value. Next up we have Hogwarts Carriage and Thestrals. This is set number 76400. It really reminds me of some of those old Lego system sets that were kind of based on, the castles and different things, the medieval castles. There was one called Count Batlor's Castle that I used to love when I was younger, and this kind of reminds me of that with the carriage and then the Thestral, which is a kind of a mythical creature in the Harry Potter universe. You do also get 2 minifigures in this, including Harry and Luna Lovegood. It is 76400 and there is 121 pieces in the box. Now the price per piece on this is quite high. It's a 17 cents price per piece because it's only 121 parts. For a $20 purchase price, it is literally just the carriage, the creature, and then a couple of bricks to build a little tree. It's pretty much all you get in the box on this one with the 2 characters, Harry and Luna. Now, in my mind, that is quite expensive, and maybe there's not enough going on in this set to get me, pretty excited about it. So this is not one that I am personally buying, but again, this depicts an important scene for Harry Potter fans, so people will still be going out and buying this set. It was released in June 2022 and it will be retiring in December 2023, which is a bit of a short shelf life as well. That's a year and a half on the shelves. Now next up we have Hogwarts Courtyard Sirius's Rescue. So this is a very important scene from the 3rd book and movie. This is set number 76401. 345 parts inside of this one with 3 minifigures that include Sirius Black and Hermione and Harry. So, and I love this version of Sirius. This is just kind of a real Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban style look that you have on this minifigure. I just love it. Price per piece of 14 cents, a little bit on the high side. It is a $50 set, but at the same time, it kind of looks okay, right? It looks like it'll be a bit of fun to build the kind of portion of the castle. And then you get the hippogriff with, that kind of horse with wings. And then you get the characters as well. So $50 price, a little bit on the high side, but not terrible. terrible. Released June 2022, retiring December 2023. Once again, a shelf life of a year and a half. So Hogwarts Courtyard Serious Rescue on the way out. Next up, we have the Ministry of Magic. Now this is an interesting one because this is a little bit different than many of the other sets. A lot of the Harry Potter sets are based somewhere around Hogwarts, and you kind of have that similar kind of color scheme of the brick and different things. This one is very, very dramatically different. And this is a scene from the 7th book, of course, where Harry, Ron, and Hermione try to break into the Ministry of Magic. Set number 76403 with 990 pieces. So it's a good number of parts inside of this one, and it is a $100 set, so it's a little bit bigger than some of those other ones we've looked at so far. It does have 10 minifigures here, so you're getting a lot on the minifigure front, and some of them are exclusive, of course. We have a price per piece of 10 cents here, June 2022 release date, and it's going to have a year and a half on the shelves before it retires in December 2023. Now this one has been heavily discounted recently in the US, including on Prime Day, but also the Lego.com website has also had this discounted. Whenever Lego.com have heavy discounts, it does tell me that sales may be a little bit low on that particular set because they don't frequently discount it, and whenever they do discounts, they don't do it on everything, and they never really discount their best stuff. So this one getting heavy discounts tells me that maybe the price was a little high, but the price per piece is not terrible, so the value in my mind is there, but fans are not flocking to this set as much as they are to some of the other Harry Potter sets, and that may be because it lacks some of the collectability of some of the other sets. Again, it's not based in Hogwarts, it doesn't slot in nicely next to your other Hogwarts based sets. In my mind, there still is a need for fans to go and get this one, but only if they are big collectors, and the general fan is turning more to some of the Hogwarts based sets over this one, and that is kind of what I'm getting from the fact that this is heavily getting discounted. But you know, in my mind, it still has some value in the box, and it could still do well if you can get it at a really good price, but I would make sure to not pay MSRP for this set. Next up, we have 12 Grimmauld plays, and this is another one that, again, it's not based in Hogwarts, so it slots into the story nicely, but in different places, and so it's less collectible with some of the other sets. It's set number 76408 with 1083 parts. It's got 9 minifigures in this one with 11 cents price per piece. Now this is even more expensive than Ministry of Magic. This is $120, but in my mind this one kind of looks like it deserves it because it almost looks like a modular building. And now this is just the front facade. It's not quite as built out behind the front here in the set as something like a modular building, but it is quite cool looking in from the front, and it looks like a pretty fun build for what you get here. $120, and you do get 9 minifigures, and some of those are pretty cool, right? You get Kingsley Shacklebolt, he's one of the Order of the Phoenix. You also get a handful of the Weasleys. June 2022 release date, so that's once again a year and a half on the shelves by the time it retires in December. Alright, next up here we have the Gryffindor House Banner. Now this is an interesting series of sets because last year we had the Hogwarts Moments series of sets, and each of those moment sets were kind of like a book that would open up to depict one of the classrooms in the Harry Potter world. Some of them had a pretty short shelf life. They only had a year on the shelf for some of them, and they ended up being good investments if you got them at good prices. Some of them were great investments like the Charms class or the Herbology class, but others are still kind of going up, and you know, over time they will continue to grow in value. These are quite similar, and I could see the fans of the old Hogwarts Moments sets may also want to jump in on some of these House Banner sets because they do have kind of the same idea of opening them up to kind of have this playable kind of scene on the inside. But now we have 4 of them, and they are based on the different Hogwarts houses. So the first one here is Gryffindor. That is Harry Potter's house in Hogwarts. It is one of the most popular ones. 76409 with 285 pieces and 3 minifigures. It's a 12 cents price per piece, which is a little bit on the high end for me because of that $35 MSRP, and I think that's where the problem is. It's a $35 MSRP. The old moment sets were $30 MSRP, and now Lego Group have been raising their prices, and so they've raised this one, or this, not really a raise because it is a new series of sets, but in my mind are very similar to Moments, and these are 35 instead of 30. 35 is a little bit high in my opinion for what you get here. Now they haven't been discounted very heavily either, so a lot of the times if you're trying to buy these you might get them for 10% off, but you're not seeing heavy discounts on these sets, at least not in the US. But they're released in March 2023, so that is this year, and they're retiring at the end of the year, so they're going to have just 3/4 of a year on the shelf before they go. Now that could mean that not enough collectors are going to get their hands on it. Some people may still want it after it has gone, and then the demand will continue in the aftermarket. It also could mean the supply on the aftermarket will be lower because less investors and resellers are buying this set, and that's for a handful of reasons. Firstly, there's less time to pick it up because you've only got 3/4 of a year on the shelf, but secondly, I don't know that this is really on the radar for a lot of Lego investors because I haven't really heard a whole lot of conversation about it in the communities. So that remains to be seen. We'll see how the supply looks after this retires. There is a possibility it will be undersupplied. So that is Gryffindor House Banner. We also have Slytherin, of course, 76410. Once again, 3 minifigures and 10 cents cents price per piece. So this is a better value with 349 parts. Now this actually has significantly more parts in the box. So the Gryffindor had 285 and Slytherin has 349. That really helps to improve the price per piece. So the MSRP price is the same, it's still a $35 set, but the price per piece is a lot better because the piece count is so much better on this one. Same release date of March 2023 and retiring the same month of December 2023. Then we have the Ravenclaw house banner, and this one is 76411, and again we have 3 minifigures. This one has 305 parts, so it's somewhere in between the other two that we've just seen. It's an 11 cents price per piece, which again is better than Gryffindor, not as good as Slytherin. Again a $35 MSRP and the same retirement date and the same release date on this one. And then we have the Hufflepuff house banner here, the fourth of this series of 4, 76412, and this one has 313 pieces. This is the second most when it comes to the piece count. 3 minifigs, 11 cents price per piece, and the same price MSRP of $35 and the same retirement date. Now again, this has 313 parts and the Slytherin one had 349, so the Slytherin is definitely the best value in terms of piece count. Now next up we have the Lego Harry Potter Advent Calendar 76418. This is it's pretty common over the last couple of years. We've had a Harry Potter Advent Calendar released for the holiday season, and typically they don't last very long. So this is 227 pieces with 6 minifigures in here, and it's got a 20 cents price per piece. They are quite expensive, these Advent calendars. It is a $45 price. Now in my opinion that is quite high for an Advent calendar, right? Because it's one-time use. You're going to use it for a couple of weeks and then you're not going to, you're going to put it away probably. So it's releasing September 2023 and it will be retiring in December 2023. So you're just going to be able to get this during the holiday season and then it'll disappear. But then the lingering stock will probably be sold at half price, as is usually the case. But the Advent calendar is retiring at the end of the year as well. So here we go, folks. We have a whole host of incredible Lego Harry Potter sets, ranging from some of those house banners to the Ministry of Magic to Sirius's Grimmauld Place to some of the Hogwarts based sets like the Hospital Wing. We have smaller sets like the Polyjuice Potion Mistake. We also have a Brickhead set that in my opinion is really awesome and will be sought after. There are some great options here if you are a Harry Potter collector or a Lego investor who likes this theme. I'm a big fan of this one, and over time I've done very well with investments in some Harry Potter sets. So what do you think of these sets? Which ones are you buying? Let us know in the comments down below. Let's get that discussion going. And while you're down there, if you want to get an entire list of Lego sets that are retiring this year, in the description down below I will leave a link. You can download the entire list of retiring sets that includes all of the other themes, not just Harry Potter, and so you can see all of the retiring sets this year. And if you want to see more of my thoughts on some of these retiring sets, I made a whole video walking through Lego Speed Champions and the retiring sets in Speed Champions. You can see that video right here. You can get my thoughts on those Speed Champions retiring sets. So with that, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.